from sea level rise. WHRO Porcupet at Robert, the most popular name, represents the photos depicting Barb AM News. Top stories across. Coming up next on Morning Edition, Illinois Governor President Donald Trump.
Senator might be brown or black and
Sunshine, a high of 81. Currently in Richmond, clouds are.
It's a very gray, overcast morning, but still going to go outside for a few minutes to get some light into my eyes, even though it's obviously not bright and sunny, but the sun is still up there and it is still much more effective to get light outside in the morning. Ideally, I would be spending probably closer to like 20 or 30 minutes outside on a day like this in order to get enough actual light exposure into my eyes to have the effect like on circadian rhythm, on cellular function and everything. I probably will still only spend like 5 or 10 minutes out there, but it's just kind of the habit, the practice of doing it every day. And because I'm doing it every day, if I don't get that full amount of time, on one day I have to skip it, or if like today when it's really cloudy and I'm not out there for as long as I would necessarily need to be to get that same effect, it's not going to have that much of an impact on me. And I know tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny again. I can get a little bit of extra time out there tomorrow and that will get everything back on track. So really just trying to kind of stay in the habit of it on cloudy days or rainy days, still get out there. And I still just find it nice to start my day by getting some fresh air, getting a little walk around outside, no matter what the weather is. Good morning. It's now about 9:30 on Wednesday, and I was planning to go over to the barn and do Freddie's walk and everything this morning as usual, but I think I'm gonna pivot a little bit because it's kind of drizzly this morning. It's not like actually raining, but it's sort of misting, and it's enough that it wouldn't be very pleasant to be out riding around in that, and it is supposed to stop by about noon. So I think what I'm gonna do is I had a couple of things planned for this afternoon that I can easily flip-flop, so I'm gonna do those this morning, and then I'll go over to Freddie this afternoon when it clears up a little bit. So first thing is to actually go get a blood draw done. There is a lab pretty close by here. My doctor had sent over a lab order to them for this Forever Chemicals test, PFAS test, which is a follow-up to another test I did a couple of months ago, which was a urine test where a few things showed up like high enough that she wanted to double check and kind of cross-reference with this blood test to see what my actual blood levels are. So I'm gonna run over there and do that blood draw. And then I also need to stop somewhere where I can print off a few things. I need to print off some shipping labels to return a few packages and just a couple other random things. And there's no printer like available here at the apartment complex. Obviously I don't have a printer, like I'm just here short term. So I have my computer, but I don't have a printer. Can't print anything here. Need to go to like a FedEx or something like that. Get those things printed off. And then maybe also, I don't know where there's like a UPS store or post office or anything, but might try to drop off some packages as well if I can. And it'll probably actually be a little bit easier in terms of traffic to do that this morning rather than this afternoon. So we'll see if I can get all those things done. All right, blood draw is done. That was super quick and easy. And now we're going to find a UPS store. Okay, actually making one other quick stop because I realized I was really close to the chiropractor that I had found earlier that I've been meaning to stop by. They offer walk-in appointments. So I'm just going to run in and see if maybe they can fit me in. Since I'm right here, might as well give it a shot. back at the apartment, and that actually was a very productive like 1 hour running errands. Got my blood draw done. I actually got into the chiropractor and got adjusted, and sort of can't believe I made it over a month since I've been here before I really felt like I needed to go to the chiropractor, but it was really nice to get that done. Got to the UPS store, got 2 packages mailed off, and printed off a label for another package that I do need to find or figure out where I can do like a post office drop, because there's no post office or even like post office drop box kind of anywhere near me. They're all pretty far away. Anyway, at least have that ready to go. And I'm really glad I did that all this morning, because it was like legitimately raining that entire time that I was gone, and it would not have been a good time to be out riding. So hopefully it's gonna dry up pretty soon, and then I'll head over to the barn this afternoon. All right, it's Wednesday evening now, and I'm about to make some salmon for dinner. And I wanted to share this kind of, I guess, hack that I found for cooking salmon. And it's super easy and really convenient because you can cook it directly from frozen. So like I have this huge pack of frozen salmon in the freezer, and I don't usually remember to like take it out and thaw it beforehand. So I wanted to find a good way to cook it where it doesn't like come out overcooked or kind of dry. And I tried this last week, and it was so good and so easy, and it turned out perfectly. So preheating the oven to 425. I have this piece of salmon here on some tin foil. I put a little bit of honey mustard and sriracha on it. You could kind of put whatever like sauce or glaze you want on top. And then I'm gonna like totally wrap it up in this tin foil so that it's sealed. And you want it to be pretty tightly sealed. You could also put it in like a pan and cover it with tin foil. It's gonna go in the oven at 425 for about 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna open up the tin foil, put it back in uncovered for another like 8 to 10 minutes. And when it's done, it's like perfectly cooked, because it kind of steams it first and keeps it from drying out. And then at the end, when you uncover it, it gets like a little bit crispy on top. I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'll show you how it turns out. This is the end result. Looks good. And tonight I'm just gonna have it with some broccoli and sweet potato that I had prepared from a couple of days ago. Good morning. It's about 9:30 on Saturday, and a little bit of a different routine this morning. I mean, I still did my normal morning routine, getting sunlight, getting my workout in. Usually now I would head over to the barn to see Freddie, do her ride for the day. But today I actually ended up scheduling a massage for this morning. So I will go see Freddie later this afternoon, and I have a little bit of time before my massage, and also the grocery store is basically right on the way there. So I think what I'm gonna do is head that direction, stop and pick up some groceries first, and do my massage, come back here for a little bit before going to see Freddie this afternoon. And this appointment is actually for a myofascial release session. So it's not like a traditional deep tissue or sports massage, which is what I would usually do back home, although I have done myofascial release quite a bit before, but I haven't done it in a long time, mostly because I just haven't found somebody back home that I've been able to see regularly. But it has been something that's kind of been on my mind and like something I've been wanting to get back to or to try again. If you're not familiar with myofascial release, basically like instead of having your muscles massaged to release tension, the practitioner is putting very, very light pressure on different areas and kind of holding for a really long time to help the fascia release tension. And for me, there have been times where I've just felt like that is more effective for kind of the pain or tension that I'm feeling. A lot of times I am able to manage pain really well with like chiropractic and massage, like I usually do or have been doing when I'm home. But like I said, kind of I've done myofascial release in the past, and there are certain times where it just feels like that's what my body needs or is going to respond to better. And I think especially since I'm doing Invisalign, Invisalign, it might be a good fit because I do feel like when my teeth are moving, like that's affecting obviously a lot of like head, neck, mouth stuff, but I do feel like it kind of creates more of a fascial tension for me that then can have the effect of like some head and neck tension. And I think that maybe doing some myofascial release while I am doing Invisalign might just kind of help everything adjust and adapt and relax a little bit more through that process. So I was able to find somebody pretty close to me here in Virginia that I thought looked like a good fit, or at least worth a try. So I'm gonna start heading in that direction, make a stop at the grocery store first, and then very much looking forward to that appointment this morning. Since my groceries are gonna have to sit in my car for a little bit during my massage appointment, I'm gonna bring a bunch of ice packs and I have a few insulated bags so everything can stay in my car and stay cool. Good afternoon. It is 3:30 on Sunday and I'm about to do a little baking. Kind of random, but I saw this recipe on Instagram a few days ago and realized that I basically had everything I needed here to make these banana oatmeal kind of protein cookie things. And I thought that would just be like a nice Sunday afternoon activity. Figured I would share this recipe as I make it. I mean, fingers crossed it turns out well. If it doesn't, I'll let you know, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then while the cookies are baking, I also wanted to do a little supplement update because I just got a couple of new ones in that I started based off of the appointment I had with my naturopath last week. And I've also changed up a little bit of some of the other stuff that I'm taking. So I thought I would just kind of do a quick supplement overview, what I'm taking and why, in case that might be interesting or helpful for anyone. But first, going to make this cookie recipe. I call them cookies. They're kind of like healthy-ish breakfast cookies because they're basically oatmeal, bananas, protein powder, an egg, a couple other ingredients. But I thought they sounded good, and like I said, I think I have pretty much all the ingredients here. I will have to sub a few things, but let's see how they turn out. Okay, first we need 2 bananas. I have some very ripe bananas here that I saved specifically for this. Mash these up a little bit. Okay, 1 egg, which I already have here in this bowl because I had an egg that cracked earlier, so I just dumped it into this bowl knowing that I would use it later. We need a tablespoon of almond butter. I don't have almond butter, but I do have some tahini, so I'm just gonna use that. I kind of eyeball a tablespoon because I don't feel like measuring it out. Good. So the recipe also calls for a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Don't have that, gonna skip it. We need 1 cup of oats. I just have these little packets of oats, but I think either 2 or 3 of these should be 1 cup. And then the recipe also calls for 3 scoops of vanilla protein powder, but I feel like all protein powder scoops are a little bit different, so I might start with 2 and kind of see what the consistency is. I also have 2 different kinds of vanilla protein powder. I have a vegan one and I have like a beef isolate protein, which I know it sounds gross, but honestly it does not taste anything like beef, it tastes like vanilla protein powder. I might do 1 scoop of each of those and kind of see how well that mixes in and see if I need a 3rd scoop. It's the vegan one. We need another scoop in there. Don't know. Might add like half a scoop more. Okay, that consistency seems pretty good. Then we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just gonna eyeball this as well. I like cinnamon, so if I get a little more in there, that's fine with me. And a little bit of salt. The recipe also calls for a tablespoon of honey, but I usually find most things like baked goods to be too sweet, especially with like really ripe bananas and the vanilla protein. I think this is gonna be plenty sweet, so I'm just gonna skip the honey. And that's it. At least everything that I have, the recipe does call for adding chocolate chips and either some kind of nuts or like pumpkin seeds, but I'm just trying to use what I already have here. So just gonna be oatmeal banana cookies for me. These need to go in the fridge for about 20 minutes to firm up and then can get them in the oven. Cookies are ready to go into the oven. They are a little bit crowded on this pan, but I really only have 1 cookie sheet and I didn't want to do 2 batches. So let's hope this works. Okay, while the cookies are baking, let's do a quick little supplement update because I have changed a few things recently in terms of what I'm taking and kind of how I'm taking certain supplements. Obviously, anytime with supplements, check with your own doctor. Don't just start taking something. I'm sharing this in case it might be interesting or helpful to somebody, not because I'm suggesting anybody needs to take these things. This is obviously what I'm taking specifically for myself and my situation and under the supervision of a doctor. And at the same time, I feel like I have learned a lot from hearing what other people take or learning about maybe a new supplement that I haven't tried before, and then maybe I'll hear about it a couple different times in different places. Maybe I'll mention it to my doctor and we'll end up trying it or discussing it or whatever. So I do think sharing this kind of thing can be useful and or just kind of interesting. So this is just gonna be supplements, not gonna include like prescription medications or anything, but here is what I am currently taking on a daily basis. Starting with digestive enzyme. This is from Orthomolecular, but there are a lot of different digestive enzymes out there and a lot of them that are pretty similar. This is just one that I've had pretty easy access to and seems to work well for me. I've been taking digestive enzymes for quite a while, but recently after some of the gut testing we did, seeing that it still looked like I was sort of not necessarily digesting things super well, increased to taking 2 capsules with each meal instead of just 1. Before I had done the gut testing, I was just taking 1 capsule with every meal. That did not seem to be sufficient for me, so trying 2. So far I haven't noticed any negative side effects from that, and hopefully that is helping me like break down both food and other supplements that I want to get into my system, kind of helping my body be able to process all that stuff. Next is a vitamin C supplement. This is another one that I've been taking for quite a while. This is a buffered vitamin C because sometimes with vitamin C, especially like at higher doses, can be a little bit uncomfortable on your stomach, and this version is a lot more tolerable. This is basically for all system support, and I take 1 capsule twice a day. Another one that I've shared before, this is a sulforaphane supplement. I know there are other brands out there. This is just the one that I was introduced to and have kept taking. Sulforaphane is a really powerful antioxidant and it can help with detoxification support. I was taking this twice a day. More recently, I've just been doing it once a day, mostly because I only brought this 1 bottle while I'm here in Virginia, but I just kind of reduced it down to once a day so that I have enough to get through time that I'm here. I also have been trying to really make sure that I eat foods that are high in sulforaphane on a pretty much daily basis. So that would be like broccoli sprouts or broccoli microgreens, which is pretty easy for me to include almost every day in my diet. So I feel like then supplementing just with 1 of these a day is probably fine for now. Once I get home and can restock, then I will probably go back to taking this twice a day. 2 other supplements that I take in the morning. One is a liquid vitamin B12 supplement. This is both going to be helpful for like energy and thyroid support, but also we know from some genetic testing that this specific kind of methylated vitamin B is going to be easier for me to absorb and actually use. So I do like 1 dropper of this every morning. And then we have a liquid vitamin D and K2 supplement, something that I take year round. I have found through numerous repeat testing of my vitamin D levels that when I am supplementing every day, I am where I want to be. And that's even like in the summer when I'm getting more sun exposure and everything. It seems like I still do need to supplement to keep my levels where we want them. And we have my bone support supplement, which comes in an AM and a PM packet. This is something that I've been on for several years now, ever since I had basically been diagnosed with low bone density and almost to the point of osteoporosis at one point. I've talked about this supplement before, but this particular brand, again, it's an orthomolecular product. I haven't really looked into this, but apparently they like guarantee that you will show an increase of bone density on a DEXA scan like after using it for a certain amount of time, and if you don't, they will give you your money back. I'm not sure if that's true or still true, mostly because after taking it for like 6 to 8 months, I redid a DEXA scan and my bone density had improved to the point where I no longer was like in the at-risk range. So it seems like, at least for me, this really does work. The one thing I have changed with this recently is that I used to obviously take an AM and a PM packet every single day, but it was a little bit hard on my digestive system because there are a lot of minerals and stuff in here that can be a little bit harder to break down and absorb. And when I had taken breaks from supplements for various reasons, like I had to take a break from all my supplements a couple of weeks before my last surgery. I took a break from them before I did the most recent gut testing. And when I've done that, taken a break from it and then reintroduced that, like throughout that process, I've kind of realized that it does kind of upset my digestive system a bit to be taking it that regularly. And at the same time, it's obviously important for me and for my bone density, and I want to stay on it as much as I can. So what I've started to do is to do 1 packet a day. So like I'll do an AM packet one day, I'll do the PM packet the next day, and kind of spread it out throughout the day instead of taking them all at once. So like this one has like 6 capsules in it. So I'll do 2 in the morning, 2 midday, and 2 in the evening. And then the next day I'll do the other packet and split it up throughout the day as well. And that does seem to be working really well for me right now. Like I have noticed a lot less just sort of like bloating or digestive discomfort throughout the day when I am taking it split up that way and not taking it twice a day. And I talked to my doctor about that on our last call, and she basically said, as long as you're able to get it in regularly and consistently, if that's working for me right now, to just kind of keep doing that. So that is my bone support. Next up, we have fish oil, another one that I'm really kind of religious about, taking 3 of these a day. So I take usually 2 in the morning and 1 at night because I'm trying to hit a specific amount of EPA in particular. There's a lot of research behind omega-3 fatty acids and their importance for overall health, for brain health, for its effects on inflammation. So this is really one that, like, even if I'm traveling or if I'm like really reducing what supplements I'm taking for a certain time, or just like if I was going to go like bare minimum, this would be one that I would really prioritize, just because I feel like it has so many overall health benefits. I do keep mine in the fridge. You do not have to keep them refrigerated, or at least it doesn't say that you need to keep them refrigerated, but I feel like I've just heard that it lasts longer or like holds its potency a little better if you keep it refrigerated. I'm not entirely sure that's true, but I just keep mine in the fridge just in case. And then we have the 2 new supplements that I just got after my call with my naturopath last week, where we went over all the latest gut testing that I did, and there were 2 things she wanted me to add in. The first one is Candidase, which, as the name suggests, is to help with a little bit of candida. This was something that showed up on those gut tests a little bit, not a ton. But if you saw that last video, you might have heard that my doctor mentioned candida really doesn't generally show up well on gut testing. So if it does show up, it's usually a sign that it's something that needs to be addressed. And since I currently am on some antifungal medication as well, and going to be on some of that medication for the next couple of months, she wanted me to add this in to kind of support that and hopefully address any candida issues that are going on. I did just start this one last night. I will say, when I took it last night, I had a little bit of an upset stomach at first, like a couple hours after taking it. I took it again this morning. I took my 2nd dose this morning. Noticed still a little bit of that, but not as much as it was last night. So we'll see if I just need to adjust to it a little bit, or kind of how this plays out over the next couple weeks. That is one that I just added in. And then the other one she wanted me to add in just for a little bit of additional liver support. This one actually kind of made me laugh because it's called Dr. Shade's liver sauce. What kind of name is that? This one is a liquid as well, and I haven't actually started this one yet because I wanted to introduce them one at a time, which that's another thing I'll try to do with supplements. If I am starting new supplements, especially if I have more than one that I'm starting, to start them one at a time in case I do have some kind of reaction to it, whether positive or negative. I want to know that I've only changed one thing, so I haven't introduced like 2 or 3 new supplements, and then if like I have a reaction to something, I don't actually know what it's from. So that's why I just started with the candidates first. Noticed I had a little bit of an upset stomach. That was the only thing I changed, so can presumably infer that that was the culprit. But if I had introduced both of these at the same time, I wouldn't really know which was causing that problem. So anyway, I'll probably introduce this in the next couple of days. I might give this like a couple more days just to see if I continue having that kind of reaction or if that settles down, and then we'll add this in as well. So that's all the like pills, capsules, liquids. The other supplements that I do take every day, basically what's in my morning hydration drink, which includes electrolytes and aminos. There are, again, a lot of different brands of electrolytes and a lot of different brands of amino acids. I picked ones that have been recommended to me either by my doctor or other practitioners. Sometimes I've tried a couple of different brands and either will like rotate through them or just find the one that I like the best. Right now, the electrolytes that I'm using in my morning hydration drink are from Jigsaw Health. It's their potassium cocktail electrolyte mix. This one is a lot higher in potassium and a bit lower in sodium than some of the other brands, but this one again was recommended to me by my naturopath and I've tolerated it well and I like the way it tastes, so I've continued to use this one. And then the amino acids that I'm using right now are from Kion, but I've also used the Perfect Aminos and I like that brand as well, so I kind of switch between those two. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, basically a very easy to digest and like already broken down form of protein. Get all the amino acids you need, and especially around workouts. That's why I like to take this as part of my pre-workout hydration in particular. Also in my morning hydration drink, I use creatine. There is a ton of research on creatine. It is the most researched supplement basically in the history of the world. And there's just like a lot more and more emerging research on how effective it is and kind of why like everybody should probably be on creatine. Again, talk to your doctor or your healthcare professional, but there's more research emerging now about creatine for brain health, like cognitive health. It also helps with muscle recovery and energy. It's totally tasteless and it's relatively inexpensive. So again, just something that I feel like it's gonna benefit me in a lot of ways, and it's easy to put into my drink in the morning. I also include a scoop of collagen peptides in my morning drink. Like collagen's a little bit maybe more, not necessarily controversial, but like slightly less evidence for whether it's super helpful for one thing or another. But even for things like gut health or like hair, skin, nail health, I've heard enough like potential benefit from people that I trust that I like to include it as part of my daily lineup. And again, it's like tasteless, it dissolves really easily. So this has also kind of stayed in my rotation for a long time. And the last thing that I include in my morning hydration is this modified citrus pectin. This is another one that I added in, it was a while ago, but I'm not sure how long, because I'm always working on detox support, especially of heavy metals. This is like a really gentle way to support detoxification, specifically detoxification of heavy metals. So this was again something that my naturopath suggested I try adding in as long as I tolerated it. It's something that I can take daily. It's not gonna be like the most effective thing to get rid of heavy metals, but as something that I can take every single day and be like a really kind of gentle, non-disruptive way to help me continue to detox. Again, it's something I can put into a drink. It's not like another capsule that I have to swallow. This is another one that I've been doing every day for quite a while and likely will continue at least for the foreseeable future. And that I think is it. It might seem like a lot. It is kind of a lot, but each thing has its own purpose, or I'm using it because I have done specific testing and it's something that I know my body needs additional support. Maybe it's hard to get from food, or again, knowing that my digestive system is maybe not functioning optimally. I can't necessarily rely on absorption from food always to get the amounts I need of certain things. Thankfully, I don't mind swallowing capsules, like that's not a problem for me. So even if I do have to take quite a few pills throughout the day, that's not a big deal. I kind of created my morning hydration drink to include any of the powdered supplements that I want to keep in every day, and that also works really well for me. The only other thing is that I also use protein powder, maybe not every day, but pretty regularly. I guess that would be considered a supplement as well. But yeah, if you have any questions on any of these supplements, feel free to leave those in the comments below. Or if you're taking some supplement that you think is interesting or that I should know about, I'm always curious to hear what other people are taking. So please do share if you have anything to add. Okay, I'm ready to try one of these cookies. I did try a little bit of the cookie dough before I baked them, and it was very sweet. It was good, but it was pretty sweet. So let's see what the end result is like. It's actually pretty good. Definitely would need to like bananas or like banana oatmeal kind of thing because it has a strong banana taste, obviously. But I like them. I would make these again. And these are really high in protein, so this could definitely be like a breakfast cookie situation. But if you have some ripe bananas sitting around, I think these are worth making. Good morning, it is Monday, it's about 10:45. I've just been sitting here at my desk for a little bit and about to hop on a Zoom meeting for a personal training session. But this afternoon, the vet is coming to see Freddie. So I'm gonna head over there later this afternoon once she lets me know that she's on the way. And she's basically gonna evaluate her for any discomfort, any unsoundness. And this could really be pretty important or informational assessment that we do on her today, because I think it's really gonna give me a better idea of how much we might be able to move forward. Right now, I've still just been walking only, and before I do anything more, I wanted to make sure that she's not uncomfortable or going to kind of basically injure herself if we do more. Really curious to see what she finds, but also it's a little bit like this could really spell out what is next, or like how much further we might be able to get, kind of what we think Freddie's future is going to be. And we might not totally be able to figure all of that out today, obviously. Like, we might have to try some things with her to make her a little more comfortable and then see if we can push forward a little bit. But I do think we should get a lot of good information from this appointment today. But gotta hop on my Zoom meeting. A few more things need to get done this morning, and then we'll catch up again when I'm heading over to meet the vet later today. Well, it's almost 5 o'clock now. I just got back from the barn, and unfortunately the vet was called to an emergency this afternoon. We were kind of on hold for whether she was going to be able to make it, and in the end she just was not going to have enough time to do a full evaluation on Freddie by the time she could get there. So I did go over there anyway, just took Freddie out for a little bit, but gonna have to wait to hear from her about rescheduling. Sometimes that's just how it goes. So we'll see. Hopefully maybe we can still make it happen this week. I guess I'm not totally sure. And it also looks like it's supposed to rain maybe kind of a lot the next 2 days. So we'll see how much I'm able to do in terms of getting Freddie out for walks. I can always go over there, groom her, give her a bath or whatever, but depending on how much it actually rains here, might be a little bit on pause for the next couple of days. Good morning. It's about 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and it's been a very rainy morning, and it looks like it's basically going to rain the rest of the day and maybe all day tomorrow too. But there seems to be a little bit of a break right now, so I am running over to the barn ASAP, hoping I can at least get Freddie out for a little bit before the rain starts up again. The sun is actually peeking out a little bit right now, so I'm hoping I might have a little bit of time to get her out for her walk before the rain picks up again. If we get a little wet, that's okay.